Hello world, Duke Blue Tarpeel out running the tractor today in the future cornfield. I'm actually using the subsoiler today. The cornfield that I'm working on is about 1/8 acre, maybe a little bit more. Enjoying me a cigar, having fun being a homestead farmer. Just kind of wanted to show you a little bit. So we have a subsoiler on the back. Big old spike. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that thing down on the ground, and I'm going to sink down in there about 1 foot. The object is to try to get as much rock and root and any rough stuff out of there as possible. I do have a tiller that I'm going to be dropping down in this, a 6-foot tiller made by King Cutter, I believe. But that tiller is, from what I've heard, is capable of doing asphalt. Let me just give you an example of what we're doing back here real quick. So I've got that thing dropped to the ground. Digging down in there, trying to get rid of all the big rocks. Yep. There's one coming up. See that rock is pulled up. Don't want to hit that with the tiller. Don't want to hit that big rock with the tiller. So a lot of y'all remember the yellow tractor that I had. I posted a video back some time ago, not a very good day. I blew a rim on that tractor. I believe it's late 50s International Cut Blue Boy. And as I get out of this dig here, I'll take you on over and show the comparison between the old tractor and the new. That is good. Alright guys, let me just show you what we had. So the previous tractor right here behind me, old yellow, pretty cool tractor, but what had happened to it was back left wheel, the rim had rotted out. Can't get to a new rim for it, as you can see in behind it there, it separated out. So instead of messing with this thing, it's a good parade tractor, and I've got a Class 0 implements on it, which it's got a cultivator, cultipacker, of course a rake, and it's a little bit undersized for this piece of property. So when that broke, Shirley and I decided to go out and get new red. So that's an RK tractor, RK37 from Royal King. Had very, very good ratings on it. 37 horsepower, four-wheel drive, 1 ton, a little over 1 ton capacity. Oh, I got the light on back there. No need the light. But size comparison between the two, just a little bit different. And of course that's got type 1 hitch on it. So say hello to the new farm tractor. We did rig that up with the subsoiler, which I got on it now, and I mean that's a pretty big chunk of metal. I mean, you're talking 1-inch thick steel. You can see the tooth in comparison to my boot. It's sticking down there pretty good, and, you know, coming through and pulling up some of these rocks like that. So you can see the rock all out through there. So again, like I was saying, the reason that I'm running that subsoiler, this is mountain land. I mean, there you go. We are up on top. I think we're one of the higher points on the mountain. And from this ridge to that ridge way off in the distance is about 9 miles. So what we're seeing out there, I couldn't even tell you. I can't add that much. But the idea was, let's go in and, you know, we got the orchard over there and what have you. So decided to put a cornfield in, see how it does. If I can get corn to grow up on top of this rocky mountain, I think we can do about anything. And if you're questioning why I'm going through with a subsoiler and not the tiller first, obviously I want to get the big rock out so the tiller doesn't come through, bust a tine, or catch one of them, you know, mammoth rocks in there and, you know, tear things up. And it also goes back to some Bible teaching. You know, you sow a good seed in bad soil, what do you think that seed's going to do? You can have everything right, but if you don't do, you know, the proper steps, it's only wishful thinking of what your results are going to be. And you know, I'm going to subsoil this ground. I'm going to hand pick the rocks, which couldn't tell you how many ton I've already pulled out of here. I'm going to put fertilizer in it, lime to bring the pH up and establish that a little bit. We're running about a 4, maybe 4.5 pH on it. We want to be a little bit higher than that. Get some fertilizer down into it. Fertilizer with some, you know, chicken scat, and, you know, bring them nutrients up in the ground. And then, of course, till all that in with the tiller on the tractor. To improve this soil, you know, and you get what you put into things, you know, and that's a true story in so many ways. You know, I think it's in the book of Matthew, and don't quote me on that. I don't have the Bible right here in front of me, but when you plant good seed and you put the labors in, even though it's a time-consuming process, you should expect good things out of that seed when you take all the necessary steps to do it right. So I'm doing the best I can to give this seed that I put into this ground the best chance possible, and I'm not cutting any corners. People cut corners in life. They might get through the first time or the second time, but sooner or later, something's not going to go right. So, back a few years ago, I will give a quick story about the law of sowing and reaping. Back a few years ago in the company, we had come up with the idea around the holidays that we were going to give to a needy family. We were taking contributions from our employees to give. It didn't matter the amount, and it wasn't required by no means. And the company, which I own, was going to also give to a needy family. So for a couple of weeks, we promoted it throughout the company. And out of 11, 12 employees that I got, only 2 gave. Two gave. One was $20 and the other one was $50. So on the day of the meeting, I had handed out little slips of paper. They were folded up. They didn't know what they were. And on the paper was written a 30, a 60, or a 100. And I told them that they had to keep those. They got to handpick their piece of paper. Again, not knowing what was written on it. It was stapled shut. And I told them to bring that to the meeting. So during the meeting, I pulled out a massive wad of cash. And, I went again into promoting the law of sowing and reaping and giving good spirit and with good intentions, and you do the right things, good things can and will happen to you. So we had the list up there, and one by one I had the employees open up their tag, and I had their name up on a board, and they opened up the tag, and some of them got a 30, some got a 60, some got a 100. And I wrote their tag down, their tag number. The person that gave $20, that person had pulled a 60. And the person that paid, or that contributed $50 to help somebody, they pulled a 30. So after everybody opened up their tags and I went through reading verses from the Bible that explain the law of sowing and reaping, and then I announced that the needy family that they were contributing to was themselves. So the person that gave $50 and the person that gave $20, Shirley and I multiplied their gift by the number on their tag, 30, 60, 100-fold. So the lady that got the $50, that gave the $50 gift, was given to her needy cause $1,500. And the person that gave the $20 gift got a 60, he got $1,200. And, to each of those people it brought tears. They had no clue that was going to happen. It was a reward for Shirley and I to be able to financially be able to do that. And I looked around the room at a lot of jaws dropped. If they would have only known what was going to come back to them, what would they have given? Some people said they couldn't afford it, and some just for whatever reason didn't care. At the end of the day, they were only helping themselves, unknowingly. So, again, that story, it was something cool that I was able to do back a few years ago. And it didn't change anybody's life, I wouldn't think. It wasn't that amount of money. But I do think that it made people think, those that didn't give, and those that did. Make them think the next time somebody needs help, if you feel it's good and you trust it and believe it, it never hurts to help somebody. Food for thought. At any rate, I'm going to get back on the tractor, work on this cornfield. We're going to get corn in this field. Now, whether or not the deer are going to eat it all, there's a tree right over there. I wouldn't mind putting a tree stand in. But we're going to have fun with it. And I also want to introduce you to a new tractor. So God bless y'all. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And Blue Tarp Hill Homestead, man. I love it. It's where I was supposed to be. Well, I'm going to jump back on the tractor and drop back implement in this ground, and let's get some rock back. God bless.